Chosen one. Listen carefully. This moment finds you by divine design. You have been walking through a season where few understood you, where silence spoke louder than words. They saw your calm and mistook it for weakness. They saw your distance and called it pride. But heaven saw truth, a light hidden for a time, preserved for revelation. You are like a lantern kept beneath heavy cloth. They assumed your flame had gone out, but it was never extinguished. It was guarded. Now that covering is being lifted, heaven is preparing to show the world what has been forming in secret. You are not forgotten. You are a divine mystery about to be revealed. There was once a man who worked quietly at a factory. Every day he arrived early, greeted everyone kindly, and prayed silently over his co-workers. They thought he was ordinary, too ordinary. But when crisis struck and the factory faced closure, he came with an idea that saved every job. The same people who dismissed him began to call him a miracle. He smiled, not out of pride, but because he knew the miracle wasn't him. It was God's timing through him. That is the story of the chosen. You have walked through unnoticed seasons, not because you lacked purpose, but because purpose was maturing in silence. The roots of destiny always grow underground before the tree breaks through the soil. The quiet years are not punishment, they are preparation. It is written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 14, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea." And that glory, the same one that fills the heavens, now stirs within you. It does not come to make you famous, it comes to make him known through you. You are the reflection of divine craftsmanship, the living evidence that God hides greatness in plain sight. You have endured misunderstanding, motzeri, and delay. You have carried promises that felt too heavy to bear. But through every heartbreak, something unshakable has formed inside you. It is faith forged in the fire. And faith never leaves a person the same. When God decides to reveal what he built in you, there will be no mistaking it. The transformation will be undeniable, not loud, but luminous. Think of a seed buried in the ground. To the untrained eye, it looks dead, but beneath the soil, pressure and darkness are forming life. You are that seed. And your breaking point was actually your birthing point. The soil that covered you was not meant to bury, it was meant to birth. There are places your name has already been spoken, though your feet have not yet arrived. People are being prepared to recognize what heaven has invested in you. You don't have to chase visibility. Light doesn't beg to be seen. It simply shines. Stay faithful in the unseen, and the seen will take care of itself. When the unveiling begins, remain anchored. The spotlight of destiny can burn those unrooted in humility. Let gratitude be your constant. Let love be your response. The same hand that lifts you is the one that steadied you in obscurity. Remember those quiet nights of prayer, the ones where no one applauded. That is where your oil was formed. That oil is what will sustain you when visibility arrives. Chosen one. The season of delay was never denial. It was heaven perfecting the vessel before revealing the treasure. Every tear watered your calling. Every rejection trimmed what could not go with you. Every delay stretched your capacity for glory. Now the horizon begins to glow. The first light of recognition rises over your life. Those who doubted will not be silenced. You will not need to silence them. Your fruit will speak. Your peace will testify. Your endurance will shine brighter than any defense. You are stepping into the moment where heaven's yes overrides every human no. The world is about to witness what God has been crafting in secret, and when they see it, may they see Him through you. If this word resonates with your spirit, like, share, and subscribe so that others walking through hidden seasons may find strength as you have. Comment below the number 77 to declare your readiness for revelation. The unveiling begins now. Heaven has not forgotten your name. The light within you is not a flicker, it's a wildfire waiting for release. Every step you take from this moment forward carries divine confirmation. You are God's child, walking into full recognition. Let the world see. Let heaven rejoice. The revealing has begun. You've walked through seasons where your worth was questioned and your motives misunderstood. The whispers around you became loud enough to drown out your own voice at times. But heaven never misheard you. Every misunderstood action, every moment you had to explain yourself and still weren't believed, those were sacred tests of identity. Misunderstanding is often the birthplace of revelation. God hides His greatest works inside misunderstood vessels. You have felt the sting of rejection and the ache of being unseen by those you hoped would understand. But understand this: divine purpose never begins with applause. It begins with isolation, because isolation clarifies the voice of God. The world may have labeled you by your failures, but God has called you by your future. There was a young artist once, painting in a small attic room. No one came to see her work. Her friends told her she was wasting time. She painted anyway, not for attention, but because it was what she was born to do. Years later, that same artwork hung in a museum, drawing thousands. The same people who doubted her claimed they always knew she'd make it, but she smiled quietly, knowing her validation came long before their approval. So it is with you. The one who called you saw your potential before your first mistake. He chose you, not because of perfection, but because of purity, a heart willing to listen. Even your flaws, when surrendered, become instruments of grace. You are not the sum of your past misunderstandings. You are the revelation of God's mercy in motion. The path of a chosen one is rarely clear. You will often walk roads others avoid, because your journey requires a depth they cannot understand. You are not meant to fit into their mold. You are meant to remind them there is more. That's why you never fully belonged. It was heaven's protection, not man's rejection. It is a mystery how God turns what seems like delay into preparation. The years that felt wasted were actually seeds planted in unseen soil. You may think, why did I have to go through that heartbreak, that betrayal, that silence? Because each one stripped away something that could not survive where you're going. You were not being punished. You were being purified. As the apostle wrote to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. The refining process was never about proving your strength. It was about shaping your surrender. Every time you chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, you built spiritual muscle. Every time you kept faith when logic said, give up, you aligned more deeply with heaven's rhythm. They may never know the cost of your obedience, but God does. Every hidden act of faith is written in His records, and no sacrifice is wasted. You are not behind. You are right on time. The misunderstanding of people cannot delay the timing of God. You may feel like life passed you by, But in truth, it has been circling back, aligning perfectly for the unveiling to come. The longer the bow is drawn back, the farther the arrow flies. And you, chosen one, are that arrow in the hand of God. Look back for a moment, not to mourn, but to see the pattern. Every season of silence carried a subtle thread of divine weaving. You lost friends, but found discernment. You faced loss, but gained endurance. You walked alone, but discovered a voice that only speaks in solitude. That is the making of one known by God. Soon, those who misjudged you will be puzzled. They will try to understand the sudden shift, but will not see the years of surrender behind it. Your vindication won't arrive through explanation, it will arrive through transformation. You will simply become everything they said you never could. And your peace will preach louder than your words. There's a depth in your spirit now that wasn't there before. You can sense it, the quiet confidence that no longer needs external validation. You have become the kind of person who no longer asks, "Why me?" but instead whispers, "Use me." That's the language of maturity. That's the mark of one who truly knows they are chosen. So breathe. You have survived the hardest part, being unseen yet faithful. The misunderstanding was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to drive you deeper into the heart of God, where identity is not defined by approval, but by intimacy. Heaven has seen every tear and recorded every quiet victory. And in due time, all that was once hidden will make sense. Until then, walk with your head lifted, not in pride, but in peace. You are known. You are understood where it matters most. You have felt it stirring, the sense that something unseen is shifting around you. The air feels charged. Moments feel heavier. And your spirit knows a new chapter is about to begin. The season of exposure has arrived. Heaven is no longer allowing you to hide behind smallness or fear. You were never meant to remain invisible forever. Everything that once seemed delayed is aligning with divine precision. The prayers you whispered years ago are echoing back, gathering momentum, now ready to manifest. The time of preparation is closing. The time of revelation begins. There is no more waiting for perfect conditions. God is revealing you even in imperfection, because His power shines brightest through surrendered flaws. You have been like a diamond buried under layers of soil. For years, pressure surrounded you, shaping what eyes could not see. And now, the pressure that once seemed unbearable has become the very thing that gives you brilliance. You are not just being exposed, you are being displayed as proof that obedience produces glory. Think about David in the fields, forgotten by his family. He practiced worship where no one was watching, but heaven was. When the moment came for a king to be chosen, God skipped over those who looked the part and called the one whose heart had been forged in solitude. It was never about being seen first, it was about being shaped right. And so it is with you. The spotlight of destiny does not create value. It only reveals what was already there. The recognition coming to your life is not promotion, it is revelation. You are stepping into rooms that will confirm what heaven already declared long ago. Every conversation, every connection, every opportunity will align like pieces of a divine mosaic, forming the picture God had in mind from the beginning. But with exposure comes responsibility. This next season will require discernment, when to speak and when to stay silent, when to move and when to wait. You cannot afford to be led by emotion when heaven is calling for precision. The same God who revealed you will sustain you. But only if you remain anchored in humility. Scripture says in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." Those words are not just a warning to the world, they are a promise to the faithful. What was planted in the dark will bloom in the light. Every seed of faith you buried in prayer will rise to testify. God is not exposing you to embarrass you, He is revealing you to empower you. There will be moments when the attention feels overwhelming. Some will misunderstand your rise. Others will question your motives. Let them talk. Your focus must remain on the mission, not the murmurs. Visibility is not vanity, it is assignment. You are being placed where your light can reach those still lost in shadow. Remember, a lighthouse doesn't chase ships, it simply stands where it was built, shining through the storm. The ships come because the light remains steady. You don't need to strive to be noticed, you need to stand in obedience. That steadiness will draw those who are meant to see you, if you've ever asked, "Why now?" The answer is simple, because now your heart can handle it. Exposure before maturity destroys. Exposure after surrender multiplies. You are ready because you no longer crave the stage, you crave the will of God. Your season of hiddenness taught you endurance. Your season of exposure will teach you stewardship. When favor finds you, let gratitude guard you. When people praise you, let purpose remind you why you're here. You are not rising to prove anything, you are rising to fulfill prophecy. The ones who once questioned your worth will soon witness your assignment. But this unveiling is not revenge, it's redemption. The same light that reveals your purpose also offers them a glimpse of grace. Your transformation will not humiliate anyone, it will invite them to hope again. So, when the light turns toward you, don't shrink. Stand tall, not in pride, but in divine confidence. This is not your doing, it's heaven's orchestration. You have carried the promise quietly. Now, let the promise carry you publicly. Type, "I rise now," in the comments as a prophetic declaration that your hidden season has ended. When you write those words, you are not chasing affirmation, you are agreeing with heaven's timing. It's your public yes to what God is already whispering in your spirit. Every "I rise now" becomes a seed of faith released into your next chapter. A sign that you no longer hide your light, but stand in the open, ready for divine assignment. The world is about to see who you've been becoming all along. There are moments when heaven speaks your name in places your feet have never walked. You may not know it yet, but your name is being mentioned in conversations you cannot hear. Doors are quietly unlocking. Opportunities are shifting direction, drawn toward the sound of your obedience. Heaven has begun its announcement over your life. You've carried dreams that felt too heavy for your hands. You've wondered how they could ever come true when resources, support, and timing all seemed against you. Yet even in that uncertainty, God has been orchestrating divine connections, threads invisible to you, but perfectly woven from His vantage point. What feels like coincidence is, in truth, a conversation between heaven and earth. There is a sacred mystery in how God elevates His chosen ones. He rarely does it through the channels people expect. He uses the overlooked, the underestimated, the ones who learn to depend on Him in secret. And when He speaks your name, no gatekeeper, no critic, no circumstance can silence that echo. Think about Joseph, forgotten in a prison cell, He probably thought the dream was over. But in one day, his name was spoken in Pharaoh's court. He didn't campaign for that recognition. He simply remained faithful where he was planted. When the time came, heaven used a crisis to highlight his gift. One conversation changed everything. The same pattern repeats through history. Heaven mentions a name, and earth adjusts its order. You are living in that same pattern now. People may not understand the sudden favor you're about to encounter. They will call it luck. But those with spiritual eyes will recognize it as divine announcement. It's not luck, it's legacy. The years of endurance are being translated into favor. The prophet Jeremiah once recorded a truth that still breathes life into moments like this, as the Spirit spoke through him. Chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Those words are not abstract promises. They are a blueprint. God's plans have always included your voice, your calling, your life. Even when others dismissed you, the blueprint didn't change. You were written into the design long before doubt tried to erase you. You might not realize it yet, but heaven's announcement always begins subtly. A person suddenly thinks of you and reaches out. An idea stirs that feels too big for your comfort zone. A mentor or opportunity appears seemingly out of nowhere. These are not random events. They are heavenly nudges. Invitations for you to step into rooms built for your voice. There's a certain fragrance to divine timing. It feels both terrifying and peaceful at once. You know you're not ready. Yet you know you can't stay where you are. That tension is holy ground. Don't run from it. God doesn't announce you when you feel confident. He announces you when you're dependent. That way, when favor finds you, you won't mistake it as your own doing. Every moment you remained faithful in obscurity prepared you for this unveiling. You learned compassion while others competed. You learned stillness while others chased visibility. You learned to hear God's whisper amid noise. Now, those lessons are your unseen armor. When heaven speaks your name, it doesn't just shift your life, it shifts the atmosphere around you. The same way the wind moves unseen, yet carries the scent of rain, divine favor travels invisibly until suddenly. It's undeniable. You begin to find yourself in places you never applied to be, surrounded by people you never thought you'd meet, doing things that once terrified you, and yet it all feels strangely natural, because grace always feels like home to those who have walked through testing. The space you are about to enter isn't a promotion, it's a recognition of what already existed. You are not changing who you are becoming visible as who you've always been. So don't shrink when opportunity calls. Don't question whether you deserve to be there. You do, not because of merit, but because of mercy. Heaven does not make mistakes in its announcements. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Let peace settle in you like sunlight after rain. The announcement has begun, even if you don't hear it yet. Soon, you'll feel the ripple. Someone will mention your name in favor. A door you didn't knock on will open. And when it happens, remember, this is not random. This is heaven fulfilling what it whispered years ago. You are mine, and it is time. There are moments when silence feels heavier than words, when those who mocked you seem louder than those who believed in you. But this is the beauty of divine justice. God never forgets. He doesn't simply vindicate with words, He vindicates with evidence. He doesn't argue on your behalf. He displays you. Vindication is not revenge, it is revelation. It's not about proving others wrong. It's about proving that God was right when He called you. You are about to walk into rooms that once rejected you, not with bitterness, but with peace. The same table where they once denied you will become the table where God serves your breakthrough. Think of Joseph again. The same brothers who sold him came back, begging for food in a famine. But by the time they arrived, Joseph had no anger, left only perspective. His pain had become provision. That's how God works. He turns betrayal into blessing so completely that you can't even resent it anymore. The Book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5 declares, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." Arblin, the table is not just a metaphor, it's an image of restoration. It means your dignity is being returned to you. Your voice is being heard, and your worth is being seen. The very people who laughed at your faith will witness the fruit of your faithfulness, not because you prayed for their downfall, but because you remained faithful when no one else believed. Vindication from God doesn't humiliate anyone, it humbles everyone. It reminds the world that grace always gets the last word. You will not need to post, to prove, or to plead. You'll simply become what you were meant to be. And that will speak louder than any explanation ever could. But remember this, when the moment of vindication arrives, don't let pride steal the peace you prayed for. The test after the test is how you handle victory. When God lifts you, lift others. When He blesses you, become a blessing. Imagine your heart as a garden that has finally bloomed after years of drought. The flowers don't bloom just for themselves, they feed the bees. Perfume the air, color the world. That's what generosity looks like in the kingdom. What God pours into you is meant to flow through you. When you like, share, or subscribe to this message, you are not feeding algorithms, you are watering seeds. You are helping light reach someone still walking in darkness. And if you ever feel led to give, to support the mission that spreads these words to hearts across nations, know this, it is never an obligation, it is an offering. Donating is not about transaction, it's participation. It's like placing one more log on a holy fire that keeps travelers warm through the night. Your gift, no matter how small, becomes part of that warmth. The world doesn't change because a few do everything. It changes because many do something. Maybe you can't preach to millions, but you can keep the voice of hope alive. Maybe you can't travel across oceans, but your kindness can. Every seed you plant, whether a prayer, a share, or a gift, multiplies beyond your sight. Heaven measures it not by amount, but by heart. You see, vindication isn't just about your rise, it's about the light you spread once you're lifted. It's about turning your story into someone else's strength. Every message you help send, every person you help reach, is another table being set in another life. And the same God who prepared yours will remember that. He never overlooks a giver, especially one who gives from a place of gratitude. You've been through enough to know that blessings never stop with you, they flow through you. That's how the kingdom grows, one willing heart at a time. So, as this message settles in your spirit, take a breath and let gratitude fill your chest. You've come far, not because of luck, but because of grace. And grace keeps moving when hearts stay open. If this message touched you, take a simple moment to respond in the way that feels right. Like, share, or subscribe to carry this light further. And if you feel led to sow into this work, let it be out of joy, not pressure. Think of it as adding wood to a flame that refuses to die, a light that others will find when their night feels longest, because one day soon, they'll sit at their own table of vindication, and it might be your light that helped them find it. There is something different about the way God marks His chosen. You can see it in their eyes, the quiet fire that doesn't fade, even after years of waiting. You can hear it in their words, the calm conviction that cannot be imitated. What you carry, chosen one, is not talent alone. It is oil. And oil cannot be copied. The world has tried to duplicate your essence, to mirror your sound, to replicate your rhythm, but heaven's fingerprints are unique. The anointing on your life carries a scent no counterfeit can reproduce. That is why you've been misunderstood, even imitated, but never replaced. What flows from heaven cannot be mass-produced. There was a young man who played the violin in the streets. People walked past him daily, tossing coins without care. One day, a famous conductor heard his melody and invited him to play in an orchestra. The crowd that once ignored him now paid to hear him. When asked how he learned to play like that, he said, "I learned by playing for the one who listened when no one else did." That's the difference between gift and anointing. One performs for applause, the other ministers for presence. From the Chronicles of Samuel, the first book, chapter 16, verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed David in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David. Oil changes everything. David was anointed before he was appointed. His brothers saw the oil, but they could not understand the process. The anointing doesn't always come with promotion. Sometimes it comes with pressure. You have felt that pressure too, the weight of being different. The ache of carrying something holy in a world that misunderstands holiness. But here is the truth. Imitation fades, but anointing multiplies. Those who copy you may sound similar for a while, but when the winds of testing come, only real oil burns. Your light endures because it is fed by intimacy, not influence. That's why your journey has been longer. It takes time to distill purity. Do not despise the years you spent waiting. They were sacred distillation. God was removing the residue of comparison, stripping away the urge to compete, teaching you to pour from purity, not pride. Now, what flows from you carries weight because it carries authenticity. The anointing is not just for ministry, it's for life. It's the grace to forgive when others hold grudges, the strength to rise when others retreat, the peace to stand still while storms rage around you. That's real oil, unseen but undeniable. You have felt drained at times, as though the oil was running low. But the oil of heaven never dries out. It refills those who remain surrendered. Sometimes the jar feels empty only because God is making space for new flow. Every crushing you've endured was not destruction, it was extraction. Olives must be pressed before they release oil. So when others wonder how you keep shining after all you've been through, smile quietly. They wouldn't understand that brokenness became your altar. That's where the fragrance came from. The same pain that tried to silence you became the perfume that announces your presence. You don't need to prove your anointing. Your endurance proves it for you. You don't need to explain your difference. Heaven has already endorsed it. Just keep walking. Keep pouring. Keep loving. Your consistency will outlive every imitation, and when the next wave of favor arrives, remember, the oil is not just for you. It is for every soul that will be healed, encouraged, and awakened through your obedience. Your overflow is someone else's miracle. If this word confirms what you felt in your spirit, comment the number 444 below. It's the number of divine establishment, a sign that what heaven began in secret is being firmly set in motion. When you type it, you're not just agreeing, you're aligning. You're saying, "Yes, Lord, I'll pour where you tell me to." Because this time, the oil will not run out. It will multiply as you move, and everywhere your feet tread, evidence of the anointing will follow. The oil on your life is not fragile, it's eternal. It doesn't depend on mood or momentum. It flows from the unbroken connection between you and the Spirit. Every act of surrender refills the jar. Every quiet yes becomes another drop of power waiting to be poured. When you comment 444, let it be more than numbers. It's your acknowledgement that you were chosen not just to shine, but to serve. It means you understand. Oil increases when it's shared. What you give away in love, heaven always restores in abundance. So keep your lamp burning. Keep your hands open. You are the vessel heaven trusts to carry light into dark places. Your anointing is proof that God still walks among His people through you, through every act of obedience, through every spark that refuses to go out. There is a sacred strength in silence, the kind that doesn't come from indifference but from restraint. You've been tempted many times to speak, to defend yourself, to prove your worth to those who misjudged you. Yet something in your spirit whispered, "Be still." That wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. Silence has been your greatest weapon. There's a power in saying nothing when others expect a reaction. It confuses the enemy. It disarms gossip, and it allows God's voice to echo louder than yours ever could. The world shouts for attention, but heaven moves in quiet authority. When you chose peace instead of pride, you invited heaven to fight for you. Every misunderstood moment became an altar of surrender. Every unspoken word became a seed of trust. You learned to let the fire burn without fanning it, to let God defend what He authored. This is what maturity looks like. It's no longer about winning arguments, but about protecting peace. There's a story of a young man wrongly accused at his workplace. False rumors spread, and the weight of injustice pressed hard against him. He wanted to defend himself, but instead he prayed, "God, you know the truth. Speak where I cannot." Months later, those who lied were exposed, not by his words, but by time. When truth surfaced, it didn't just vindicate him, it refined him. His silence had become a sermon about trust. Scripture gives us a reflection of this kind of strength. According to the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." End of Stillness is not passivity, it is positioning. It means you trust that your defender never sleeps. It means you believe that his justice is stronger than your argument. There is a moment when silence becomes louder than sound, when your peace becomes proof of divine presence. You've probably noticed this when you stopped explaining yourself. The noise around you eventually faded. That's because truth doesn't need constant defense. It carries its own authority. The quiet confidence you've cultivated is not born from pride, but from presence, the awareness that God is near and fully in control. Sometimes the greatest battles are not fought with words or weapons, but with stillness. The loudest testimony is not the one shouted, it's the one lived. Each time you chose calm over chaos, you aligned yourself with divine rhythm. Heaven fights for those who refuse to fight dirty. And now, look at you. The version of you standing today is wiser than the one who once reacted to every misunderstanding. You've grown roots. You no longer crumble when criticized, because you know storms cannot uproot what's been planted deep. That's what silence did it, built unseen strength. You have learned that not every attack deserves your attention. Some conflicts are simply distractions sent to drain your oil. By staying silent, you didn't lose, you preserved your anointing. The restraint that once felt painful has now become your protection. There is also a tenderness in your silence. You no longer see your accusers as enemies. You see them as instruments. They pushed you closer to prayer. They trained your heart to lean, not lash out. That's the paradox of grace. It turns even pain into a teacher. So, if you find yourself in another storm, don't panic. Remember the pattern: silence first, strength second, victory last. The same God who kept you steady before will keep you again. His defense is thorough. His timing, flawless. You don't have to explain your calling. You don't have to announce your worth. Those who are meant to see you will, in time. And those who refuse will still be touched by the peace that surrounds you. That peace is your armor. It's the evidence of heaven's favor resting on your shoulders. Silence is not the absence of action, it's the sound of faith maturing. It's choosing to let time reveal what words cannot. It's watching storms rage, but standing tall because your roots go deep into divine soil. So breathe, stay still, and trust the unseen. God is speaking for you in ways you cannot yet perceive. One day, you'll look back and realize that every moment you stayed silent, heaven was writing a defense more powerful than any explanation you could have given. The world will wonder how you endured without shouting. You'll simply smile and say, "Because I trusted the one who hears even what I never said." And in that trust, you found freedom. Freedom from proving, from pleasing, from fighting battles never yours to fight. Your silence became your sanctuary, and peace became your greatest victory. The wilderness has a sound, a quiet hum of waiting, a rhythm that tests both heart and hope. You know that sound well. It's the place where time slows. Prayers stretch, and promises feel far away. The wilderness is not punishment, it's preparation. It's where God strips away what you don't need. So when you reach the promised place, you can carry what truly matters. Every chosen one must walk through it. The wilderness is the space between the calling and the crown, between prophecy and fulfillment. It's not a place of abandonment, but refinement. There, your motives are purified, your faith becomes personal, and your dependence on God becomes complete. There was a woman once, full of vision but empty of resources. She knew she was called to build, but nothing worked. Every door shut, every friend faded. She thought maybe she had misunderstood God's voice. But in that dry season, she learned something. Sacred obedience in lack builds intimacy faster than obedience in plenty. Years later, the same vision bloomed. and she realized the wilderness didn't waste her, it trained her. That's what the wilderness does. It strips away illusion and forces you to meet the real you, the one who prays when no one watches, who worships without music, who still believes when the evidence disappears. The wilderness is heaven's classroom, and endurance is the diploma. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart. Testing is not God trying to expose your weakness, it's God proving your strength. He already knows what's inside you. He wants you to see it too. And sometimes, only pressure can reveal power. When you walk through the wilderness, you learn to stop depending on what's visible. You learn to survive on whispers instead of signs. You discover that manna doesn't come all at once. It arrives daily. Enough for the day, never for the week. It's God's way of teaching trust. The wilderness is sacred not because it feels holy, but because it reveals holiness. Every tear becomes a testimony. Every lonely night, a prayer turned into strength. There, you stop asking for shortcuts and start asking for sustenance. You begin to understand that peace doesn't mean the absence of pain. It means presence in the middle of it. Look at your journey. Think of all the nights you thought you wouldn't make it. Yet, here you stand. The wilderness did not break you, it built you. It made you steady where you were once scattered, humble where you were once hurried. What looked like delay was actually divine construction. You are being formed into someone unshakable. The wilderness was never meant to kill your dreams. It was meant to kill your dependence on anything but God. Because when you finally reach the place of promise, you'll know how to survive without applause, without validation, without shortcuts. You'll carry endurance in your bones, gratitude in your breath, and wisdom in your steps. The desert has its beauty too. At first glance, it looks barren. But if you look closer, you'll see life hidden in the sand roots pushing deep. Plants blooming quietly under harsh sun. That's you. Life growing where logic says nothing can. Hope taking root in impossible soil. And soon, this wilderness will transform into wonder. The same ground that once felt cursed will become the soil of your harvest. The same silence that once felt cruel will become the stillness that allows you to hear God clearly. Do not despise this place. It's where heaven teaches its strongest lessons. Here, you've learned what voices to ignore, what dreams to keep, what kind of strength doesn't scream but stands. You are not lost, you are being led. You are not delayed, you are being developed. Every chosen soul walks through their desert before they dance in their destiny. Yours is almost over. The wind is shifting. The sky is beginning to glow. The wilderness will soon fade behind you. And when it does, you'll realize it never held you captive. It held you ready. You are leaving this desert different, wiser, lighter, stronger. You won't just tell of what God did, you'll carry the fragrance of where He met you. The wilderness will no longer be your story of survival, but your song of transformation. And when you finally step out, the dust of that wilderness will shimmer like gold on your feet, a reminder that even in desolation, heaven walked beside you, turning emptiness into eternal strength. There are moments when life feels like a script that has run off course. You thought you knew how the story would go, yet everything turned upside down. What was meant to bless you seemed to break you. What looked like the end became a detour into darkness. But heaven specializes in rewriting what hell tried to ruin. You are standing at the edge of a divine plot. Twist the moment when God flips the script. Everything you lost was not wasted. It was rearranged. God never edits your story to erase you. He edits it to reveal you. The pain that once made no sense will soon become the reason others find hope. The rejection you endured wasn't rejection at all. It was redirection. Heaven closed the wrong doors, so your hands would be free to open the right ones. There was a man who dreamed of becoming a builder. Every project he began seemed to fail. Clients left. Finance dried up. And shame whispered that maybe he wasn't meant for more. Then one night, while praying over his final attempt, he felt God say, "You were never meant to build houses. You were meant to build hearts." Today, he runs a foundation that rebuilds homes for the homeless. The script flipped, and with it, his understanding of purpose. That's how God works. He doesn't discard broken stories. He rewrites them with grace. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. Even your mistakes are being edited into miracles. When God turns the page, pain becomes purpose, and endings become beginnings. As the prophet Isaiah declared, chapter 43, verse 19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Those words are more than comfort. They are confirmation. God is not fixing the old. He is forming the new. He's not sending you back to what failed. He's leading you forward to what's fulfilled. The wilderness you walked through was not wasted time. It was the soil of transformation. The moment the script flips is rarely dramatic. It's quiet, almost unnoticeable at first. A small opportunity appears. A stranger gives a word that pierces your heart. A door you stopped knocking on suddenly opens. You realize what once broke you now builds you. That's the sound of heaven turning the story. Every pain you've endured carries prophetic weight. Every disappointment has positioned you closer to destiny. You didn't fall off course. You were rerouted by mercy. The enemy thought he could silence you, but he didn't know that pressure produces prophecy. When the script flips, gratitude replaces bitterness. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start declaring, "Thank you, God, it had to be me." Because only someone who's known the dark can testify about light. Only someone who's tasted ashes can recognize beauty. Look around now. You are still here not by accident, but by grace. You have scars that shine like silver. Proof that broken things can still reflect light. Every detour was a shortcut to revelation. Every delay was heaven aligning you with the right time, the right people, the right purpose. You don't need to worry about lost time. When God restores, He multiplies. When He flips the script, He not only redeems the ending, He rewrites the meaning. What once defined you as broken will now define you as chosen. So don't despise the plot twist. It's where destiny lives. The same page that once held pain will soon hold praise. The same chapter that made you weep will make you worship. You will look back and say, "Now I understand. I'm one." If this word resonates in your heart, comment, "I'm turning below." It's a declaration that you refuse to live in the old version of your story. When you write those words, you're agreeing with heaven's edit. You're saying, "God, take my pen." Because the author has not finished yet. The story is still unfolding, and the next scene begins with your surrender. When you write, "I'm turning," you are not simply typing. It's a symbolic act of stepping out of old identity and into divine authorship. You're telling heaven, "Rewrite me until I reflect you." And it's your way of agreeing that the pain will no longer dictate your path, that every wrong chapter will now serve as reference for redemption. Your "I'm turning" is heaven's cue to shift the narrative forward. And when that shift comes, it won't be subtle. It will be unmistakable. Doors will open. Hearts will soften. And what once wounded you will work for you. That's what happens when God takes the pen. The story no longer hurts, it heals. Every hidden battle you fought in silence is about to become a public victory. Heaven has been documenting your faithfulness, your endurance, and your quiet obedience. Nothing was overlooked. The moments when you held back tears but still said, "I trust you," were not wasted. They became the currency of your crowning. The world sees crowns as rewards, but heaven sees them as responsibilities. To be crowned means to carry light, not pride, to serve, not to rule. Your public crowning isn't about status, it's about stewardship. It's the moment when private pain turns into public purpose, as recorded in the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 4. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away. That promise breathes life into this moment. You have endured the unseen, trusted in silence, and stood through storms, and heaven calls you ready. This crown is not made of gold or jewels, but of endurance and surrender. It is formed from the prayers you prayed when no one saw, and the tears that watered your faith. Think of a mountain climber reaching the summit. The climb was steep, the air thin, the path uncertain. But when they reached the top, they realized something profound. The goal was never just the view, it was the strength built along the way. You, too, have climbed. You've stumbled, fallen, and risen again. The view you're about to see will make every scar make sense. But remember this, the crown is not to be worn in isolation. It shines brighter when you lift others alongside you. The same way, a lighthouse doesn't hoard its light, but releases it freely into the storm. Your life now becomes that beacon for others. Someone needs your story to find their way home. That is why what you do next matters. The crown is not a finish line, it's an ignition point. Every act of kindness, every moment you share hope, every seed of love you sow, it all becomes light that travels farther than you know. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not performing a routine action. You are helping build that lighthouse higher. Each click is another brick in the tower of hope. You never know who might be lost at sea, scrolling through darkness, when suddenly your shared light appears. And if your heart feels stirred to donate, think of it not as payment, but as participation. It's like planting an olive tree whose branches will shade people you'll never meet. Your generosity becomes part of the landscape of someone's healing. Maybe a word you help spread will save a weary soul. Maybe a story you help carry will breathe hope into a tired heart. Giving is not losing, it's multiplying. When you release what's in your hand, God releases what's in His. The crown you carry shines brightest when it illuminates someone else's path. You are standing at the threshold of your unveiling. The same people who questioned your calling will witness your becoming, not through arrogance, but through grace. not through speeches, but through presence. They will see your peace and realize something divine must have carried you here. There's beauty in how God crowns his children. He does it quietly, without spectacle. There's no fanfare, only fulfillment. The moment it happens, something inside shifts. You no longer need to prove yourself. You simply walk as one who's been trusted with purpose. If you could see what heaven sees right now, you'd know your light is already spreading beyond your reach. The words you share, the love you give, the peace you carry, all of it radiates like ripples across still water. And each ripple carries the reflection of the crown you've been given. So, if this message speaks to your spirit, let gratitude guide your response. Like, share, and subscribe, not out of duty, but as an act of partnership with light. And if your heart whispers to donate, let it be as natural as breathing, as gentle and holy as lighting one more candle so others won't stumble in the dark. Because in this story, crowns are not trophies, they're torches, and yours is meant to ignite many more. And when you lift that torch, remember, it was never meant to shine for you alone. It's a shared flame, a signal to every weary soul that dawn is near. That purpose still breathes. That grace still writes new beginnings in the ashes of old pain. Let every act of generosity, every like, every share, every seed you sow, be your way of saying, the light lives here. Because when hearts join in luminous unity, darkness has nowhere left to hide. This is how heaven spreads through hands that keep giving light. There is a sacred weight that rests on those who walk ahead. You've always felt it, the sense that your steps are not only yours, that someone unseen might follow the path you carve. That is the essence of being a forerunner. You are not just surviving, you are paving. You are not merely living, you are leading the way for those who will come after you. Being first is never easy. You step into unfamiliar ground, where maps don't exist and signs are unclear. Sometimes you wonder if you're lost, when in truth, you are the one creating the trail. Others will later walk. That tension between uncertainty and obedience is holy. It's the mark of every pioneer who dared to move when fear said, "Stay." There was once a woman named Ilara, who lived in a small coastal town. She felt called to build a shelter for children abandoned by storms. Everyone told her it couldn't be done, that she didn't have the funds or the influence. Yet she began anyway. One meal, one roof, one child at a time. Years later, that shelter became a beacon of compassion, inspiring others across the region to open their own. When asked how she did it, she said, "I didn't wait to feel ready. I just started walking, and the path appeared beneath my feet." No, that is what forerunners do. They walk before there's a road. They believe before there's proof. And because they move, heaven moves with them. We are reminded through the words in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Now, courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to keep moving despite it. You have carried fear and faith in the same heart, yet it was faith that kept winning. Every trembling step forward became an act of defiance against doubt. And that courage is contagious. It awakens something divine in others who watch you. The mantle of the forerunner is heavy because it carries both vision and vulnerability. You will be misunderstood. sometimes even opposed. But that's what happens when you walk ahead of time itself. Those who come after you will call you brave. But right now, it just feels like obedience. That's the beauty of it. You're not chasing glory, you're carrying legacy. You have felt lonely on this path, haven't you? The weight of unseen responsibility pressing against your shoulders, the quiet moments when you ask, God, is anyone even following? And though silence often answers, heaven nods. Because forerunners rarely see the fruit of their footsteps immediately. Seeds sown in courage bloom in generations unseen. Every tear you've shed in isolation is watering someone else's breakthrough. Every prayer whispered in faith will echo later in the voice of someone who finds strength because you refuse to give up. That's the mystery of divine leadership. What feels small to you is monumental to someone else. Being first means learning how to walk through walls of resistance. It means trusting that the Red Sea will part only after you step forward. It means believing that your footprints in the sand will one day become highways of hope. The world doesn't always celebrate its forerunners. Many pioneers pass through seasons of silence and struggle before their work is recognized. But heaven celebrates differently. Heaven claps at the first step, not the finish line. Heaven calls you faithful long before anyone calls you successful. So keep walking. Keep building, even when you don't have blueprints. Keep believing, even when evidence is scarce. You are a divine builder in an unseen kingdom, and your obedience is constructing foundations for others to stand on. There will come a day when someone thanks God for your courage without even knowing your name. They'll walk a path smoother than yours, unaware of the battles you fought to clear the way. That's legacy, the kind that cannot fade because it was written in obedience, not ambition. You have been chosen to be first so that others can be free. You are carrying more than your own destiny. You're carrying a generation's awakening. So when the road feels lonely, remember, pioneers walk alone only until the next traveler appears. And one day, when you look back, you'll see footprints multiplying behind you, evidence that your yes became a movement. You'll understand then that the weight you carried was not a burden, but a blessing. Forerunners don't just reach the promise, they open it. You've waited long, longer than you thought you could. Seasons have shifted around you. People moved ahead. Promises seemed delayed. Prayers echoed without answers, but the waiting wasn't wasted. Heaven has been aligning everything in divine timing. And now the air itself feels different. The gears of destiny are turning faster. What once took years will begin to happen in moments. You have stepped into prophetic acceleration. When God moves, He doesn't just restore time, He redeems it. Every delay becomes a divine deposit. Every no becomes a redirection towards something greater. You have not missed your moment. Your moment was simply maturing. There's a rhythm to heaven's timing. It often feels like silence before it sounds like speed. A farmer knows this truth. There is a long stillness before the first sprout appears. He cannot see what's happening beneath the soil, but he trusts the process. That's what faith has taught you, to trust unseen movement. The sacred text proclaims in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 13, "The days are coming when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes." That is acceleration. It's the divine overlap of sowing and reaping, of prayer and fulfillment, of waiting and witnessing. It's when what you've been preparing for finally starts preparing for you. Heaven is not making you run faster, It's bringing the destination closer. Look at your life. Remember how one small conversation changed everything once? How a single moment shifted the entire direction of your journey? That's what acceleration feels like, gentle, yet unstoppable. It doesn't shout, it simply aligns. There's a story of a young man who spent years sending his music to labels, only to face silence. One night, a stranger heard him play on the street, recorded a short clip, and shared it online. Within days, millions had listened. He didn't become talented overnight. The world just finally caught up to his timing. That's what's about to happen for you. The world is catching up to your anointing. What you've been building in obscurity is being drawn into visibility. But acceleration also requires humility. You must stay grounded even when everything begins to move quickly. Speed can only serve you if you're steady. Think of an arrow. The tighter it's pulled back, the farther it flies. You felt that tension for years, the pull of patience, the stretch of surrender. It wasn't punishment, it was propulsion. Now, heaven releases you. This new pace isn't about striving, it's about surrendering to the flow. You won't have to chase. The doors will open as you approach. The right people will appear at the right time. Your steps will fit perfectly into a path that was prepared long before you even began to dream. Acceleration also means refinement. What once took long effort will now require deeper discernment. You'll need to know what's truly from God and what's simply urgent noise. Not every opportunity is divine. Some are distractions in disguise. Move with the rhythm of revelation, not reaction. And as things begin to happen quickly, don't forget the years that built your depth. Quick doesn't mean careless. Acceleration without character collapses. But you've been trained too well for that. Your integrity is the anchor that will hold you in this new velocity of grace. You will look back soon and marvel at how everything that once seemed disconnected suddenly formed a perfect mosaic. Every closed door will make sense. Every delayed answer will reveal its reason. The pattern will be clear. Heaven wasn't late, it was layering. So as time bends in your favor, stay humble, stay grateful, stay ready. The speed of this season isn't meant to overwhelm you, it's meant to lift you. If this word touches your spirit, comment the number 555 below. It's the number of divine transformation, a sign that change is no longer approaching, it's here. When you write it, you're not just typing, you're testifying. You're saying, God, I'm ready for your pace, not mine. No, because this is not ordinary progress, it's divine propulsion. The ground beneath your feet is shifting. The heavens above you are opening. And what was once slow is suddenly unstoppable. When you comment 555, let it be a whisper of faith, not superstition. It's your way of saying, I trust divine timing. Those numbers are not magic, they're a marker, a visible reminder that you've aligned your pace with heaven's pulse and surrendered the hurry for harmony. Acceleration doesn't mean rushing, it means being ready. It's the rhythm of grace overtaking struggle, of destiny overtaking delay. When you declare 555, you're stepping into motion that no man can stop, carried by a wind that doesn't tire and a purpose that cannot fail. There are moments when the air itself feels heavy, not with fear, but with glory. You can sense it before you see it. The atmosphere thickens, the heart quiets. and your spirit knows heaven is drawing near. This is that moment. The weight of glory is arriving. Glory is not a feeling, it is a presence. It's when eternity brushes against time, when the unseen becomes tangible. You've prayed for this without realizing that the glory you seek has been forming inside you all along. Every season of surrender, every quiet, yes, has expanded your capacity to carry it. You have been stretched, not to break, but to make room. The deeper the vessel, the greater the outpouring. The heaviness you felt lately is not oppression, it's saturation. Like clouds swollen with rain, you are about to pour what you've carried. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17 declare, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." That verse is not poetic comfort, it is divine reality. Every hardship has been producing something weighty and eternal within you. You have not been wasting energy. You have been accumulating radiance. Pain has been pressing you, but only to extract purity. The weight of glory doesn't crush, it consecrates. It teaches you reverence, discipline, and compassion. You begin to see differently, to feel the pain of others as your own, to recognize God's fingerprints on even the smallest details. Glory changes not only your circumstances, but your sensitivity. You start to see the holy in the ordinary. Think of Moses descending from the mountain. He didn't realize his face shone because he had been near the presence. That's what's happening to you. You won't need to announce transformation. People will simply see it. Glory is quiet but undeniable. It rests. It doesn't rush. The glory that comes now will not visit and vanish. It will dwell. You've been prepared to host it, not just experience it. Hosting glory means carrying it into daily life, speaking gently when you could shout, forgiving when you could resent, giving when you could withhold. True glory looks like humility, dressed in peace. You might feel moments of trembling, as if your heart can barely contain what's happening. That's because your inner life is expanding. The Spirit of God is enlarging your capacity to love, to serve, to create, to speak truth boldly. This is not emotional hype, it's transformation. There's a difference between inspiration and inhabitation. Inspiration visits, inhabitation stays. You are entering the season where the presence will stay. The moments of prayer that once felt fleeting will now linger. The songs you sing will carry new resonance. The words you speak will land with divine weight. This weight is holy. It steadies you. It reminds you that every platform is borrowed. Every miracle is mercy. Every success is stewardship. The glory of God does not inflate the ego, it dismantles it. It teaches that greatness is not in being seen, but in being surrendered. And yet, there is beauty in this burden. Glory doesn't just come to rest on temples made of stone, it rests on temples made of flesh and faith on hearts that have been broken open and rebuilt by grace. That's you. You are the temple He has chosen to inhabit. This new dimension of glory will call for new discipline. You'll find yourself guarding your peace, protecting your focus, choosing silence over noise, not because you're distant, but because you've become a carrier of something sacred. You cannot treat the holy like it's casual. Be patient with yourself in this shift. Sometimes glory reveals what still needs to be healed. Old wounds might resurface not to shame you, but to cleanse you. The light exposes only to restore. As you yield to it, the heaviness will become harmony. The same presence that once felt overwhelming will start to feel like home. You will begin to walk differently, not faster or louder, but deeper anchored, radiant, unshakable. Glory will rewrite how you see time itself. What used to drain you will now refine you. You'll stop striving to impress and start living to express the one who sent you. That's what happens when heaven inhabits humanity. The temporary becomes timeless. This is your invitation into stillness, into weight that lifts rather than limits. The glory that's coming will not make you famous. It will make you faithful. It will not make you louder. It will make you luminous. So, rest in this moment. The weight you feel is holy confirmation. You are standing in the glow of answered prayer, in the fulfillment of hidden preparation. Heaven is near, so close that even your silence shines. Every rising requires a releasing. Before every elevation, there comes a separation. You felt it, the quiet distance between where you are and who you used to be. People you once walked closely with seem to fade. Conversations that once fed you now feel hollow, and places that once felt comfortable no longer fit. This is not rejection, it is redirection. God is clearing your atmosphere for flight. The prophet Hosea once wrote, chapter 2, verse 14, "Therefore, I am now going to allure her. I will lead her into the wilderness and speak tenderly to her." That is what separation looks like through heaven's eyes. It's not abandonment, it's invitation. God draws you away from noise so he can whisper clearly again. You are being led, not left. Separation feels like loneliness at first, but it is actually intimacy in disguise. When God wants to elevate you, he reduces your circle not to isolate you, but to insulate you. The higher the altitude, the fewer the passengers. Some people can love you deeply and still not be able to go where you are going. It's not betrayal, it's boundary. Look at Abraham. God told him to leave his country, his family, and his father's house before showing him the promise. The order mattered. He had to separate before he could see. Many want revelation without relocation, but destiny requires distance from the familiar. You've probably noticed the slow pruning in your own life. Relationships fading without conflict. Opportunities closing without warning. A restlessness stirring inside you. It's heaven's gentle hand removing what can't survive in your next season. Like a gardener cutting away branches, God is making room for fruit you haven't even imagined yet. Separation doesn't mean you stop loving, it means you start discerning. You begin to recognize what strengthens your spirit and what drains it. Not everything good is God. Not every open door is divine. The ability to walk away peacefully is one of the greatest proofs of growth. There is also a deeper layer to this season, the separation within yourself. The part of you that always needed validation is being detached from the part that knows its worth in God. The part that depended on control is being severed from the part that trusts. You're not just losing people, you're losing patterns. And that's uncomfortable, because release often feels like breaking before it feels like blessing. You might cry over what's leaving, even while knowing it must go. God allows that tension. It's how he teaches surrender. The tears are not weakness, they are worship. When God begins to separate you, he is also sanctifying you. He's reintroducing you to quiet strength, to still faith, to peace that doesn't require proof. You're being refined to carry more without collapsing. This process is not meant to hurt you, but to hollow you to carve out space for more of Him. Imagine a hot air balloon. It cannot rise until weights are released. The moment the ropes are cut, the lift feels instant, effortless. But before that moment, the pilot must decide which bags to drop. That's what you're doing now. Every release is positioning you for height. Separation also reveals alignment. As some people exit, new connections begin to appear. These are destiny relationships. People who speak the same spiritual language, who understand the rhythm of where God is leading you. Don't cling to the old out of guilt. Bless it, release it, and move forward. You are not walking away from love, you're walking toward purpose. There will come a time when you thank God for every goodbye that broke you. You'll realize those moments were doorways, not endings. What felt like emptiness was God rearranging your environment for expansion. If you listen closely, you'll hear the tenderness in the distance. The same God who led you out is waiting to meet you in the wilderness. His voice doesn't shout, there it sings. And when He speaks, loneliness dissolves into light. This separation is sacred. It's not a punishment for your past, but preparation for your promise. You are being redefined, refined, and realigned. Every shedding is sacred. Every silence is shaping. So let what needs to go, go. Let what must end, end. Don't grasp what God has already released, because what's coming will require open hands and a lighter heart. When the moment of elevation arrives, you will see why the pruning had to come first. You will look around and find that nothing missing was ever meant to remain. The sky will feel wider, your heart freer, your faith stronger, and in that freedom, you'll realize separation was never subtraction. It was multiplication in disguise. Light cannot be hidden forever. You've tried to dim it, to blend in, to make others comfortable, but heaven never designed you for camouflage. You are the light that cannot be denied. You were never meant to fit into shadows. You were meant to expose them with gentleness and grace. According to what is revealed in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. These words are more than affirmation, they are assignment. You are not called to compete with other lights, but to complete the landscape of illumination that heaven is painting across the earth. Every time you forgive, you shine. Every time you choose faith over fear, you glow. Your life is a lantern, and those storms have tried to blow it out. The flame keeps rising because its source is not human, it's divine. The wind that was meant to extinguish you has only made your fire dance brighter. You've become a living testimony that endurance glows more beautifully than ease ever could. When you walk into rooms now, the atmosphere shifts. People may not know why, but peace begins to settle. That's your light doing its quiet work. It doesn't announce itself. It simply reveals what darkness tried to hide. Think of a lighthouse on the edge of a rocky coast. It doesn't chase ships. It stands still and shines. That's what heaven is teaching you. Impact doesn't come from striving, but from standing. When you stand in authenticity, your presence becomes direction for others who've lost their way. But light does not burn without fuel. It needs oil. It needs breath. It needs intentional tending. That's why your moments of stillness, your prayers whispered in secret, your acts of kindness, they're all fuel for the flame. The brighter you burn, the more carefully you must protect what keeps you alive inside. You are being positioned in places where your light will reach farther than before. Don't fear the visibility. The world needs what you carry. It's not arrogance to shine, it's obedience. Hiding your brilliance serves no one. The same God who ignited your spirit intends for it to illuminate nations. Yet even as your influence expands, humility remains your anchor. True light doesn't boast. It beckons. It invites others to hope again. You shine not to be admired, but to remind others of their own hidden glow. And so, as you listen to this, take a quiet moment. If this message touches something deep inside you, like, share, or subscribe, not because you must, but because light is meant to travel. Each action is like opening a window, letting a bit more brightness into another soul's room. And if your heart feels moved to donate, see it not as a transaction, but as adding oil to the lamp that refuses to go out. It's like placing another candle in a long corridor, so those walking behind you will never stumble in the dark. Your generosity becomes the echo of light, soft, steady, eternal. If these words mirror what you feel inside, comment below. Write something simple like, "My light still burns." It's not about proving faith, it's about proclaiming that your flame still lives. Each comment becomes another spark, a signal flare to others still finding their fire. We are all keepers of one great fire. Every kind word, every small act of giving, every shared spark together, they weave an unbroken thread of radiance across the world. The flame you sustain here might be the one someone far away finds hope in. Your light is not ordinary, it's prophetic. It carries healing, warmth, and courage. And the more you let it flow, the more heaven replenishes your glow. You will never run out, because the source never does. So keep shining quietly, bravely, faithfully. Keep standing where God planted you, knowing that even one small light can chase away vast darkness. And as you do, let gratitude rise like dawn within you. When you choose to like, share, comment, or give, you're not promoting a message, you're participating in a miracle. You're saying, "Let my flame join the chorus of others." You're becoming part of the constellation heaven designed long before time, a tapestry of light stretching across generations. Let your lamp stay lifted. Let your glow remain gentle but unmovable. You don't need to convince the world of your worth. You only need to keep shining. And in time, the world will see who sent the light. And as your light continues to rise, may it touch places your hands never could, turning hearts into lanterns and moments into miracles. The world glows brighter each time your soul chooses to shine. Something begins to shift when one obedient life moves in rhythm with heaven. You may not see it immediately, but every step of faith sends a tremor through the unseen. That's what you're stepping into now, a kingdom shift. The movement of God's will through you. The change you carry isn't just personal, it's generational. When heaven plants a calling, it's never meant to stop with the individual. The transformation begins inside, but ripples outward, like waves from a single stone dropped into still water. You are that stone, chosen one. Every choice to obey, to love, to forgive, to persist, it all alters the landscape of lives beyond your own. The Apostle Paul wrote to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 28, "Since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful. and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe. The kingdom you serve is unshakable. Even when everything around you trembles, nations rise and fall, opinions change, wasfad, but what God builds through you stands forever. It is not made of bricks or boundaries, it's made of faith, mercy, and truth. When you live with heaven's rhythm inside you, you become part of that unshakable structure. Every word you speak in love, every act of compassion, every moment you choose integrity over convenience, these are stones in the eternal foundation. You are building something that time cannot undo. There was once a teacher who spent years quietly mentoring children in a small village. She never traveled far, never gained fame. But decades later, her students became doctors, leaders, and healers. When asked what her secret was, she smiled and said, "I never tried to change the world. I just loved what was in front of me." That is kingdom work. It begins close, but it never stays small. The shift of heaven rarely comes with thunder. It comes through transformed hearts. One healed soul can heal a family. One restored family can restore a community. One awakened generation can reform a nation. You are not simply living in the kingdom, you are part of its movement. And because the kingdom is unshakable, you are being trained to stand unshaken. The storms that once scared you now strengthen you. The rejection that once wounded you now refines your discernment. What once felt like breaking has become building. You no longer crumble under pressure because your roots have grown into eternity. Think of the earth after an earthquake. Though everything above may shake, what's deeply rooted endures. The shaking doesn't destroy strong foundations, it reveals them. The same is true for you. The turbulence around you only proves what's stable within you. God's kingdom doesn't advance through noise, it advances through alignment. That's why He has been refining your motives and adjusting your direction. He doesn't need perfection, He needs purity. A single heart, fully surrendered, can shift atmospheres more than an army chasing recognition. You may not realize it, but every time you forgive instead of retaliating, the kingdom advances. Every time you choose peace over pride, heaven moves closer to earth through you. You are heaven's evidence that love still wins. The shift through you won't always feel grand, it will often feel ordinary. A gentle word that stops someone's anger, a prayer whispered for a stranger, a gesture of kindness that interrupts despair. These moments may seem small, but in the kingdom, they are earthquakes. Soon, you will begin to notice divine patterns in your life, conversations that align perfectly, timing that feels orchestrated, doors that open without effort. That's the kingdom moving. It's not magic, it's manifestation of obedience. You are walking in synchronization with heaven's heartbeat. You've been chosen to carry change, not chaos. To represent stability in a world built on shifting sand. You are a bridge between divine purpose and human need. The shift doesn't depend on your strength, it depends on your surrender. So, walk steadily. The ground beneath you may tremble, but it cannot break you. You are anchored to something eternal. The world will feel the ripple of your obedience even in your absence. That's the paradox of divine impact. You may not see all the fruit, but the harvest is guaranteed. In time, you'll look back and see that every hidden act, every quiet prayer, every unseen sacrifice formed part of heaven's expansion plan. You were never just a participant, you were a portal. Through you, the kingdom touched earth. And when history is written, your name might not appear in books, but it will echo in eternity, remembered by the one who saw every unseen. Yes, that's the true reward of a life aligned with heaven's shift. Your legacy becomes light, and your obedience becomes everlasting architecture. There comes a moment when revelation becomes recognition, when what heaven always knew about you is finally seen on earth. That is the season you are walking into now. You are no longer hidden. You are no longer misunderstood. They are about to see who you really are, God's child, marked by mercy, refined by fire, radiant with purpose. The timeless promise remains in the book of Revelation. Chapter 3, verse 8. Z. I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. That door stands before you now. It's not a door to fame or comfort. It's the entrance to destiny. Every trial, every delay, every season of pruning has led you here. The knocking you once heard from within your spirit was heaven preparing the hinges of this very moment. For a long time, others only saw fragments of you, pieces out of context, glimpses without understanding. But God has been forming the full picture. Every misunderstanding became part of his framing process. The version of you emerging now carries wholeness, clarity, and calm power. You no longer need to explain who you are. Your presence will do the talking. Identity is not something you earn, it's something you inherit. Being called child of God isn't a metaphor, it's a declaration of lineage. It means divine blood flows through your purpose. It means the Creator's DNA of light, creativity, and resilience runs through every decision you make. You were designed not to echo the world, but to represent heaven. And now, the unveiling begins. The same eyes that once overlooked you will look again, and this time, they will see evidence, not potential. They will see the strength that only surrender could produce. They will sense that something invisible now stands behind you, guiding every word, every step, every act of grace. But remember this, being revealed does not mean becoming louder. Revelation is quiet authority. When a diamond is uncovered, it doesn't shout, it simply shines. Your role now is not to convince anyone of your worth, but to continue embodying it. The glow that surrounds you will speak louder than explanations ever could. Every chosen one goes through 3 stages: concealment, crushing, and crowning. You have walked through all 3. The concealment kept you humble. The crushing kept you pure. The crowning will now keep you grateful. Never forget how it felt to be unseen, because that humility will anchor you as favor finds you. As the door opens, some will be drawn to your light, and others may feel uncomfortable in it. Do not dim to soothe anyone's insecurity. Your purpose is to illuminate, not to shrink. The light in you is not a spotlight, it's a torch meant to lead others home. You are the living proof of transformation, not the kind achieved through ambition, but the kind forged in surrender. Every time you chose faith over frustration, heaven recorded it. Every time you forgave instead of retaliating, your spirit was crowned in unseen gold. This is the fruit of years spent trusting what you could not yet see. From now on, you'll begin to notice the ease of divine flow. Where you once had to knock, doors will open. Where you once had to prove, favor will speak. The same world that questioned you will now seek your wisdom, not because you demanded recognition, but because you became revelation. Still, stay grounded. Glory that rises without gratitude quickly fades. Keep your roots deep in stillness, your heart guarded by peace, and your eyes fixed upward. Your worth was never in the crowd's reaction. It has always been in the Father's declaration, "You are mine." The unveiling is not the end. It's the beginning of stewardship. To be seen is to be trusted with greater responsibility. To be recognized is to reflect God more clearly, not to replace Him. Let every compliment become a chance to redirect glory where it belongs. And when people finally say, "Now I see who you are," you'll smile, not out of pride, but out of wonder, because the truth is, they're not just seeing you, they're seeing Him through you. Walk through that open door with reverence. You have nothing left to prove, nothing left to chase, nothing left to fear. What's coming next isn't reward, it's reign, not as a ruler above others, but as a servant radiant with purpose, carrying the authority of love. This is the moment creation has been waiting for, the unveiling of the sons and daughters of God. And as you step forward, heaven stands in applause. You are revealed. You are ready. You are His. And now, as the last word settles in your spirit, take a slow breath. You've journeyed through revelation, refinement, and rising. Every sentence was a mirror to remind you that you are not forgotten, you are chosen, you are crowned, and you are carrying divine light. If this message has stirred something sacred in you, let gratitude be your response. Like, share, and subscribe, not out of habit, but as an act of resonance, as if you're lighting another lantern in this vast field of faith. Somewhere, someone is searching in the dark, and your one gesture might be the flicker that helps them find their way home. And if your heart feels moved to donate, see it not as giving away, but as passing forward. It's like releasing a dove into the wind. You never fully know where it will land, but you trust it will reach someone who needs the hope you once prayed for. Your kindness doesn't disappear. It multiplies in places your eyes may never see. Take a moment to comment below, maybe just a few words. A whisper like, "The light lives on." That simple phrase becomes part of a greater echo, a testimony that faith is still alive in this generation. Every comment here is not noise, it's a spark, joining the collective fire of those who refuse to let darkness win. You've made it through every season, every shaking, and now you shine. Your story is not just survival, it's sacred art. And as you step away from this message, may you carry its warmth into your world, into your home. Your words, your silence. This isn't goodbye, it's ignition. The flame has been passed to you. Keep it burning, and let the world see who you really are.